time to reclaim womanhood. My name is Donovan, founder of the Women's School, where I've trained thousands of women across 40 plus countries in the last 25 years to raise their dignity and reclaim the value of women as it was originally designed by God. Now, in the last 3 years, what we have witnessed is a massive attack on the dignity of women, where now we are no longer, I would say, defined. We are being undefined. Our sports is actually being taken away from us. Our freedom and our God given privilege to be a woman is under massive attack, where really we are at risk. Our future children, our girls, are at risk. But that all did not start from 3 years ago. What we are witnessing actually is a fruit of a movement from 150 years ago called the feminist movement that has really infiltrated in every part of our society and is now promoting, I would say, a narrative and agenda that I don't believe is serving women. And so, what we need to do is harvest the good from the feminist movement because that movement was also in response to a lot of the abuse that women endured, that whether we recognize it or not, there were injustices. Women could not vote. They could not be part of society. Their voices were silenced and their God-given freedom was they were not entitled to. And so that was a necessary movement, although imperfect. Although if you go down that rabbit hole, there were a lot of wounded women who brought fruit in our culture today. Fruit where it is allowing me right now to speak to you. I can work as a mom of 8. I have built a multi-million dollar business and also without compromising the things that are important to me. And so the privilege of being a woman in our culture today, in some ways, has been a fruit of so much of the woundedness of women where they use their passion to then introduce freedom and equality in our culture. However, that came also with a lot of baggage, a lot of, I would say, unnecessary things, like most movement, where it is imperfect. It has also wounded not just women, men, but also children. I think that when we talk about the first, second, third wave of feminism, the biggest, I would say, collateral damage right now is our children because so much of the movement uh, devalued the role of women in their home because it was either or. You're either in your home or outside of your home. And I think that what we are seeing right now is that this movement has continually been fractured, it has a negative stigma, and that also it has isolated men. It has robbed men of their dignity. And so, what we actually are seeing is a feminist movement that I don't believe is salvageable. What we need to do is to take what we have learned from that movement and create a vision of a new woman, which is why we need to reclaim womanhood because we need to cast a vision of the kind of woman that is going to have the freedom and responsibility to contribute the best of who she is in our culture. Because now we have a data that, in spite all the freedom that women have in the West, they are not free. As a matter of fact, they're more enslaved than they were when they were 100 years ago. What I mean by that, there's more depression, more anxiety, there's more broken marriages, and more women are unfulfilled with their life. Now, I'm not suggesting we go back. I'm not suggesting that we move backwards. I'm suggesting is that we create a new vision where we learn and harvest the wisdom and then introduce a new kind of woman that is going to reclaim what it means to be a woman as it was intended by God. So, how do we do this? Well, here are 12 rules I'm going to share with you to reclaim womanhood. And this, what I believe, is what we need to cast our vision forward of that new woman that's going to say, you know what? I want my freedom, but I want my freedom rooted in responsibility. I want to honor my dignity without dishonoring the dignity of men. I want to be able to have a voice in the marketplace, but also in my own home. And so this is us creating a new movement of the kind of woman that our world needs now in our modern society. So what is this? Who is this woman? It's you. Because what we believe in the women's school is that their women today have been robbed of their formation, meaning the necessary mindset and skills that they need to actually become who they were created to be outside their home, in their friendship, and their relationships, in every part of society. We lack the training. Where do you go to learn how to be a woman, how to draw firm boundaries, how to manage your mind, how to make the most important decisions of your life? We need hundreds and hundreds of skills in order to create a life of meaning and contribution. And yet, there is no access that teaches women how to be a woman in a world that's massively shifted. We no longer have our grandmother or our aunt that used to live with us, that was that physical infrastructure that gave us a support system that we need to thrive, which is why women today are simply surviving. And so, in the Women's School, we believe in women's formation, the actual shaping of both our mindset and our skill set, so we can become a voice of contribution in society and nurture humanity into good health, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And it is in that life of contribution that we become who we were created to be for such a time as this. So this is a rally call for all of you, for our families, the women in our life, to say, you know what, I will no longer stand for the devaluing of women. I will take my own personal responsibility to do my part to become who I was created to be. And that's why we need to form ourselves. And the only way we do that is through training. And that is what we offer here in the Women's School, is not only a community of women, because we are raising an army that's going to rise above and fight and create this movement of reclaiming womanhood, but also we give you the training, we give you the coaching, we give you the support, because that is how we are going to change and rebuild our culture. That's why movements are so powerful, because it is greater than you and me. It is a vision of what it means to be a woman for generations to come. And that is what we offer to you. So what do we need to do? Rule number one, we need to define what a woman is, right? It is a woman is born female biologically, right? And we need to look at our X and X chromosome. We need to understand that our brains are different, that if you get to know a molecular biologist, our structure is so deeply ingrained in our biology, and we need to defend the definition of what it means to be a woman. Number two, rule number two, we need to restore our unconditional worth. Today, women are valued based on what they can offer the world: our perfection, what we can produce, our positions of power, our possessions, our popularity. That's what we consider valuable. And you know that because when you think about somebody who has more followers, more money, more, perfect body, you start to think of them differently. Why? Because we have been conditioned to believe that that's what makes someone valuable. But the truth is that you're valuable just as you are, simply because you exist as a woman. Your worth is not contingent on anything external, but rather it was God given. And we need to help women rewire their understanding of their unconditional worth. Rule number three, we need to honor our irreplaceable role in nurturing society, both at home, but also in our communities. Yes, we need to be taking care of our homes, but we also have a voice of contributions as doctors, as nurses, as caregivers, without compromising our primary duty to our homes, if that is what we're called to be mothers. It's not about sending women back to the kitchen. It's about knowing that we can be a voice of contribution in our home, in our kitchen, in our families, but also be a fierce voice of defenders of truth, beauty, and goodness outside our home. We have a place in society. Rule number four, we need to restore her role in her own home. We have got to start pinning women who stay home moms, working moms, or this idea that to be a successful woman who's doing something meaningful in our culture today, we have to negate our home, that she cannot put and prioritize her home because that makes her feel small and not free. That is a lie that you've been sold. And I'll tell you, because it doesn't matter what you accomplish externally, financially, and all the achievements that you have, if your home is out of order and your family is not fulfilled and you're not raising disciplined children that are contributing to society, it is going to hold you back and it's going to rob you of your peace and joy. So it is not either or, it is both and. Rule number five, motherhood is what makes us uniquely different from men. Now, not every woman is called to be physical mothers, but in some degree, we are called to nurture the hearts of humanity, which is a form of motherhood. And so, yes, there's a physical uh, call for us to be mothers. I'm a mom of 8, but also we need to restore our role as nurturers in society, but also we have to stop trying to make mothers second class citizen in our culture as though they are less important than somebody who's perhaps working. No, it is not either or. Mothers today need the support that they need. We need to revere motherhood, and we need to start giving the level of respect that mothers need and deserve in order to thrive. Motherhood is essential for the flourishing of society, and not just to give life, bring life biologically, but also breathe life to people. And so, no, we're not replacing motherhood with birthing parent and chest feeders. Mothers need to be protected, and this is what we ought to do to reclaim womanhood. Rule number 6: contribute to the restoration of manhood. What we have experienced so much with the radical feminism movement is this idea that we can replace men. First, it was, I want to be able to equal to men. And then it was, I hate men. And then now I can be like a man. I no longer need a man. We know logically, but we also know through tradition that has been tested over time that we need both men and women to flourish in society, that our gifts, although we could share similar gifts, we need to work together and honor men in our lives because they have a unique role in our life, but it also in society. We cannot do it without them. So this idea of the emasculization of men that is slowly seeping into every facet of culture is only hurting women. And now you've got women who feel like there's not enough strong men out there because women have lost also their understanding of what a strong woman is, which as we define it currently in our culture, sadly, is that somebody who can achieve it all and do it all by herself, which is a lie. We are not here to be independent, isolated human being. We are designed to be integrated and also interconnected. So we need women to honor manhood and reclaim it as a beautiful gift from God. Rule number 7: honor the complementarity of men and women. So not only do we honor the masculine genius, not only do we honor manhood, but we're saying we actually need to work together and use our unique gifts and celebrate it and work together to create a flourishing world. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And we're seeing that. We're seeing it even in our boys right now, where our education system is focused actually on the training of girls. Boys need more physical activities. We have to stop this idea that boys and girls are exactly the same, this gender neutral bathroom, this gender neutral life. No, the sacredness of both men and women ought to be revered. And that's how we can work and complement each other. We both need each other. And it has been tested through time, and that men and women who are able to work together because they are training that goes back to the formation of women actually create better marriages, better communities, better working environment. We need both the voice of men and women, and have the humility to work with each other's gifts, and have the humility to listen to each other, and have the reverence to be respectful of each other. Rule number 8: defend truth, beauty, and goodness. In a world where truth is no longer logical, or that our beauty actually is no longer exonerated as something that is revered. If you think about what we revere in our culture and arts, uh, you're seeing really a dilution of what beauty is. And yet, beauty, as we define in the Woman's School, is a woman who inspires the world to be better because in, she's investing in becoming better. Inspire means to breathe life. We need women to breathe life. And as Dostoevsky said, beauty can save the world. A beautiful woman can save the world. But we need to understand that beauty can never be apart from truth and goodness, that it's actually all integrated. And women, in order for us to reclaim womanhood, we need to be defenders of truth, beauty, and goodness, because that is innate within us. And we need a society that is based on objective truth, moral law, so we can then reclaim what is true, good, and beautiful, and not have illogical, nonsensical conversation that is not really rooted in common sense. It is time for a common sense movement in our culture today. Number 9, we reclaim womanhood by training her into a life of wholeness and interior freedom. You see, wholeness means that we are fully alive in every arena of our life. Now, so much of us lack the training on how to design the woman we want to become. Our mental, emotional, and physical, spiritual health, our friendship, our intimacy, our contribution at work, and also in our homes, our environments, our wealth, our family. All of these are non negotiable in order to be fully alive. We need tools, skill set, and mindset to achieve the kind of life that we deeply desire, that is in harmony with who we were created to be in our original design, God's original design for women, that is in alignment with our highest good. And that leads us to interior freedom. Interior freedom is our ability to choose our highest and best self, regardless of the external circumstances. As Viktor Frankl said, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, is that our ability to choose is our last freedom. So we need to introduce not just freedom that allows us the exterior achievements in our culture today, which is what we have been doing for the last 150 years, is move to give women exterior freedom to be able to be part of the marketplace. But now it's no longer enough. We need to move from not just exterior freedom, but both towards interior freedom, a woman's ability to choose her highest and best self. And that is in harmony with both a life of wholeness that leads to interior freedom. And that is how we reclaim womanhood. Rule number 10, defend faith, family, children, men, and our God given freedom. We need to be defenders of our faith. We cannot be silenced in our ability to be able to worship. And we are seeing a direct attack right now that's no longer subtle in media and politics and Hollywood, where our faith is under attack. I mean, a congresswoman who was wearing a cross was belittled by our media because she was wearing a cross. How far have we come in America where our Constitution, um, uh, I would say, our country was rooted in biblical principles? And now here we are attacking the very foundation of our nation. And also, we need to defend the value of family life. That our family nucleus is the foundation of any flourishing society, that marriage needs to be defended. Our children's innocence needs to be protected, because today we have children that are exposed in pornography, that are exposed in things that are toxic, unhealthy, therefore they are suffering for it. We need to defend men and our God given freedom. Number 11 is that we need to restore a woman's ability to dream, discover the desires of her heart, and cast a new vision of her future. We need women to dream, because without a vision, we perish. That is how we reclaim womanhood, is that we give women the tools to discover why she's here, her purpose, and her vision for her life, but also for her generation and our future generation. And last, rule number 12 is an advocate for human dignity. Dignity of humanity needs to be protected from the moment of conception all the way to our last breath, and that every life is sacred, and that we need to defend it, because without our ability to defend the most sacred value of life, our old children, human trafficking, but also our babies in the womb, then we have lost the heart of humanity. So this is what we have to offer, is that we have to reclaim womanhood. So this is our mission and vision in the Women's School, to equip you with the mindset and skill set necessary to reclaim womanhood. We are on a mission. This is a movement towards a life of wholeness, interior freedom, and to reclaim the dignity of women. It is time, because if not now, then when? If not you, then who? You are the hope, and we can do this together. And I believe that if we armor up together and join in this movement, we are going to rebuild a more flourishing society like never before in history. Because in times of crisis, which means turning point, we have a choice to either be part of the solution or be complicit to the problem. And I believe that women are waking up, not only women, but also men. And we're saying enough is enough. When evil abounds, grace abounds more. Grace is on our side, and we have a duty to reclaim and redeem the dignity of women for generations to come. Join the Women's School and our movement, and let us begin our mission to reclaim womanhood in modern society. Thank you. My name is January Donovan, founder of Women's School, a student, mother of 8, a teacher, but more than anything, defender of what is true, good, and beautiful. And we are here with you on a mission. Together, let us rebuild culture, one whole woman at a time.